Daddy knew them.
That's right. One day, Grandpa came for a visit. Jimmy and Johnny had never seen him before. He was a wonderful grandpa with round, round fat cheeks. He had a white mustache that turned up at the corner. Wait a minute, guys. And wiggle when he talked. He had a patch of white hair on each side of his shiny bald head. But the most wonderful thing, Grandpa, was the stories he told. Does that remind you of anybody?
Yeah.
After dinner, Grandpa sat in the big armchair. Tell us another story, Grandpa, said Johnny. Tell us another one about lions and tigers. So Grandpa told them another story about lions and tigers. He told them a story about boats. He told them a story about planes. He told them about storms, even big cyclones and tornadoes.
Yeah?
He talked and talked. The boys listened and listened. At last, Grandpa yawned. Then
What
Jimmy
is this?
yawned, and Johnny yawned. Okay, this is Jimmy and Johnny, and they were in their beds, and they were very tired. Time for everybody to go to bed, the boys' mom said. They were about half asleep as they undressed and crawled into their double-decker bed. Johnny crawled in the lower deck, and Jimmy climbed in the ladder to the top deck. Soon they were both fast asleep. But in the night there was a noise. Oh, wow. It went grrr.
Right?
Did you hear that? Said Jimmy. He looked out into the darkness from the top deck
Or the great grandpa.
of the double-decker bed. Wow. It's a lion, said Johnny. He looked out into the darkness from the lower deck of the double-decker bed. It went grrr.
It's a little puppy.
Grrr. Grrr. That was a lot of noise. It got louder and louder and louder. It's a tiger, whispered Jimmy. A tiger with a big black and yellow stripes. It went grrr, grrr, grrr. I'm so scared now, just grrring. It got louder and louder and louder. Oh boy, let's see here. It's a plane, said Jimmy. Just an airplane? It went zoom, zoom, zoom. It got louder and louder and louder. It's a motorboat, said Johnny. It's just a motorboat. Go to sleep. And it went but. That's right.
Baby airplane and daddy airplane.
And Daddy airplane, that's right. It got louder and louder and louder. But it went shoo, two, and it kept on getting louder and louder and louder.
Is it a tornado?
It's a tornado, said Jimmy at last. It's a tornado because what else could it be?
A tornado.
Yes, that's right.
It
The
wasn't
house
a
seemed to
puppy.
swell and swirl. Then it fell back down to earth. The bricks clattered together.
It was
and
a lion.
It made an awful sound.
What?
What's an awful sound? Oh, that's a big one now. And it rumbled and it roared and it swished and it swooned. It got louder and louder and louder. Look at the house. I mean, it's got a cow on top.
Look at that house.
And it's the same house. The roof is even coming off there. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, they were creeping out of bed. There's their puppy. At last, Jimmy said, "It's coming from under the door. Let's find it." So the two boys crawled softly out of their double-decker bed, and they walked quietly across the room to find a great big noise. Okay. They opened the door just a crack because they didn't want to get scared. The noise seemed to be coming from down the hall. Suddenly it started to growl
Wait,
again.
Simeon. Simmer, wait.
It got louder and louder and louder. I'm scared, said Johnny. I feel prickles all over me. I'm scared too, whispered Jimmy. But I have to find it. Listen, it's coming from Grandpa's room. Very, very quietly they opened Grandpa's door and they saw what was making the noise. What do you think it was? What do you think?
Tornado.
What do you think?
Snoring.
Oh, that's
Tornado.
probably it. Let's see.
Well, the tornado.
Oh, we've got lots of other things to find out first. Its nose was red and its cheeks were round. And there were 2 white horns growing out of its head. Oh my goodness, what do you think that is? Man, I think it's in that bed. Do you think? Okay. Out of the mouth came an awful, terrible noise. It went
It's all of them.
growl, growl, zzz. But. Then the noise stopped. It rubbed its eyes, and what do you think it was? It was Grandpa.
What was he doing?
He was snoring like I do. He was going. Don't you think it's funny that Grandpa snores?
Do you think Granddaddy snores?
Do you ever snore? No, never. You know, the page may not be gone.
Read it again.
Okay.